Coach McCarthy, please report up to Mr. Jones' office, please. Coach McCarthy, up to Mr. Jones' office, please. That is what the Dallas Cowboys are headed towards. And if it wasn't for this injury to Dak Prescott, or if it was for another reason, it was always just a matter of time. I'm Brian Stewart. I'm joined today by Matt Stewart. We're here for the Worst to First podcast, episode 2, reviewing week 1 and everything that was. Unfortunately, our resident Cowboys fan, Pork Johnson, he's out, and he's going to say it's because he's sick. I think we all know there could be a little bit more to it than that, and it could have to do with the Dallas Cowboys and everything that's transpired with them in the last 24 hours after losing to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 19-3 on Sunday Night Football, okay? If you watched that game, you probably didn't finish it. It was a total snooze fest. But there was a lot of interesting news to come out of it, starting with Dak Prescott. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. That's the reported timeline. Going to need hand surgery after hitting it on one of the Buccaneers' helmet, following through. We've seen that happen some over the years lately. Not a good deal. Bad luck. Feel bad for Dak in that way. But, Matt, I'm going to toss it to you real quick, right off the top. What are we thinking about Dallas and this game against Tampa Bay last night to kick off the season?
First off, I want to say Pork Johnson is running from this game. He's being a straight-up coward, not coming here and defending his takes that he made last week on our show, running his big mouth about a big game that the Cowboys were going to do, and Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, how they're going to be one of the top dogs in the NFC. Coincidentally, he had a voice injury. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the Cowboys go, it's tough to be a Cowboys fan right now. I think you legitimately, you had all this optimism for 7-8 months now, and week 1, all that is completely dashed. I think people were already on the fence about McCarthy, just waiting to turn it over to Sean Payton. And now that Dak's out, it's going to be a long season for the Cowboys, I feel like, at this point.
In a weird way, too, I don't think anybody saw this coming. The rest of the division, 1-0. Commanders pulled off a win over the Jaguars. That was really frustrating for those who watched our upset and lock of the week picks video before the game started. I had Jacksonville. I didn't even think it was, there wasn't a lot of thought that went into it. I thought they were for sure going to win that game. Neither here nor there. Giants, they had an epic ending, but I will give Dallas this. Okay, with Micah Parsons, there's about 3 or 4 defenders in the entire league who they're going to wreck the game no matter who they play, no matter when they play them. Doesn't matter what the other team does. That guy, okay, Micah Parsons, is going to get his. He's going to make, probably force a turnover. If nothing else, he's going to have a couple sacks. And he did that. He gave Brady some problems. And their defense was good. Their defense was plenty good enough to win that game, holding the Buccaneers to 19 with everything that they have. But it still wasn't enough. And even before this injury to Prescott, 3 points, okay? And it didn't really look like it was getting any better. It didn't look like there was going to be a touchdown on the night. That's hard to do in 2022. The way that the game is set up, to not score a touchdown, to not score 6-9 points. That's terribly tough to do, and it's an awful indictment on Dallas, their offensive coordinator, the offensive line, the whole operation, and Dak included, who was not good. But I want to make a case real quick, and I'd like to know what you think about this. I think, I wish Pork was here, because I'd love to know what he thinks too. I think this injury is going to turn out to be a good thing for the Dallas Cowboys long term, and here's why, okay? I said it last week's show, I don't think the Cowboys were ever going anywhere this year. I thought they were not a playoff team, 8-9 seed type in the NFC, okay? Headed for 500, and then Mike McCarthy out. In this case, they have more than likely locked themselves into several more losses. And at the end of the year, instead of being 9-8 or 8-9, now they're in a position where they might be 5-12. 6-13, or 6-11, excuse me. Something more on that lower end of the totem pole, which is obviously going to mean a better draft pick. And I think that's what this team needs to kind of restock. Not saying they need to move on from Dak. I'm not going to go that far. but their roster has been taking hits due to the bad contracts they gave out and just kind of bad investments, really. I mean, you give up a first-round pick for Mark Cooper, and then you only get a sixth-round pick back for him after a couple years. Things like that. Oh, my. Seattle, big play. Folks, sorry, there's a big game going on. Of course, Russell Wilson, he's back in Seattle, and he just took the lead up 7. Hopefully they win. But anyways, so yeah, that's my take, an honest take. I'd like to know what Pork thinks. Trying to kind of be glass half full for him, even though I know I'm beating him over the head with the fact that the Cowboys suck. Matt, what do you think? Do you think that this is a good thing, or is it just are we gonna continue down this road every year, the Cowboys failing to meet expectations?
I think it actually is probably a good thing. It offers a little bit of a reset. Their wide receiving core, in my opinion, was a little bit soft coming into the season. CeeDee Lamb has to prove himself as a number one, but as you saw last night, he's not getting the separation. He's not getting open. Zeke, what do we think at this point? He's just totally washed up. I mean, do we just hand the keys over to Tony Pollard at this point? I don't think that's a terrible idea. I think it offers maybe them a little bit of a chance to rebuild and maybe gives Dak some more tools and, of course, give the axe to old McCarthy and just be done with that chapter. The question is, do we think they can actually capitalize on this? I don't know. Dallas has kind of proven for the past, 25, 30 years that, they are who they are. They can't change. I don't know if this is a Jerry problem or what exactly, but this could be good for them. I'm a little skeptical that they can actually capitalize, but overall, who knows? I think this season's a wash as it is anyway, like you said. So, yeah, overall, I say it's good.
It is, and I hope Pork is listening and soaking it up, that his team has failed yet again. And the days of the 90s are so long gone. I wasn't alive when the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. I mean, what's that say? I just turned 26.